It gives me great pleasure to introduce Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Eric Shinseki. Born in Hawaii, Secretary Shinseki graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Secretary Shinseki served 2 combat tours in the Republic of Vietnam, where he was twice wounded as a disabled veteran. He is a life member of DAV Chapter 5 Hawaii, also which I now belong, Secretary, to your chapter on Kauai. During the Cold War, he was the commanding general of the United States Army in Europe and 7th Army commanding general, NATO Land Forces, Central Europe, and commander of the NATO-led stabilization force in Bosnia. In 1999, Secretary Shinseki was appointed Chief of Staff of the Army. Following the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, he led the Army during operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. After 38 years of service in uniform, he retired from the Army in 2003. On December 7, 2008, General Shinseki was nominated by President Barack Obama to lead the VA. He was confirmed by the Senate on January 20, 2009. He was confirmed by the Senate on January 2009 and was sworn in as the 7th Secretary of Veterans Affairs on January 21, 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary of Veterans Affairs and DAV Life Member, the Honorable Eric K. Shinseki. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you again.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for that very warm welcome, Ray. Thanks for the generosity of your introductions always, and for your leadership of DAV National. Thanks for your leadership. Let me just pay my respects to your leadership, our leadership, DAV leadership. Bobby Barrera, Senior Vice Commander. Wallace Tyson, Junior Vice Commander. Art Wilson, National Adjutant. Sandy Dobmeyer, President of Ladies Auxiliary. Have I got it right? No? Okay. Well, I'll check with Kevin on that. Dave Gorman and Rick Patterson, Executive Directors. Actually, when this job's done, I'm angling for Gorman's job. Fellow DAV members, ladies and gentlemen, I'll get the name of the Ladies Auxiliary correct here before we're done. I'm honored to be back with the disabled American veterans. We were last together in Snowmass, Colorado. And I'd like to thank you once again, your leadership, for partnering with the VA in conducting what is the world's premier winter sports clinic for all of our veterans who are able to participate in that. Now, having said that, you and I share some things in common. We've had to rebuild our lives after a life-altering event. We've had to work hard to regain the use of our bodies, and we've had to adjust our thinking to embrace, both mentally and physically, our changed conditions, and so we could carry on with life. And for all of us, courageous work, and we continue to do that every day. Well, we haven't done it on our own. We've all had help, and there's no shame in that. And for 90 years, the organization that's been there for those in our situation has been the DAV. Disabled veterans have been helping each other through the DAV, through your NSOs and your TSOs for 90 years, through your National Transportation Network, through your generous donation of time and volunteering, and through your own courageous examples of how to live life. You've enabled the nation's most deserving veterans to rise above their disabilities and live meaningful and rewarding lives. And that's a little bit of what went on at Snowmass up on the mountain. And we call it the Miracle on the Mountain. where people who never expected ever to ski again or do cross-country skiing, snowboarding, were there through the good graces of the DAV. I'm a proud member of the DAV, and I'm honored to be serving as your current Secretary of Affairs, notwithstanding the joke about Gorman's job. It is a calling for me. It offers me an opportunity, and this is the reason I came back, offers me an opportunity to give back with those who served with and for me during my time in uniform, and then to those heroes of World War II and Korea on whose shoulders I stood as a youngster growing up in the profession of arms. Now, over the past 7 months, I've visited VA facilities, large, small, urban, how to live life. You've enabled the nation's most deserving veterans to rise above their disabilities and live meaningful and rewarding lives. And that's a little bit of what went on at Snowmass up on the mountain. And we call it the Miracle on the Mountain, where people who never expected ever to ski again or do cross-country skiing, snowboarding, were there through the good graces of the DAV. I'm a proud member of the DAV, and I'm honored to be serving as your current Secretary of Affairs, notwithstanding the joke about Gorman's job. It is a calling for me. It offers me an opportunity, and this is the reason I came back, offers me an opportunity to give back with those who served with and for me during my time in uniform, and then to those heroes of World War II and Korea on whose shoulders I stood as a youngster growing up in the profession of arms. Now, over the past 7 months, I've visited VA facilities, large, small, urban, rural, complex and simple, all across the country. I've spoken with leaders, members of the staffs, and veterans wherever I encountered them. I've also invited each of the 21 VISN directors to come and share with me their requirements, and the priorities in which they see those requirements, their measurements for performance, quality, and safety, and then their need for resources, people, money, and time. I took the final 4-hour VISN presentation Friday a week ago. This was time well invested for me, an invaluable learning experience. And let me just give you some insights. Some of this you already know. Every day, 288,000 people come to work at VA to serve veterans. We have only one mission: to care for our nation's veterans wherever they live by providing them the highest quality benefits and services possible. And I would add, we must do this faster, better, and more equitably. VA's legacy of service is an unwavering pursuit of President Lincoln's charge to care for those who have borne the battle. These words are as compelling for us today as when they were first delivered by Lincoln during his second inaugural address. Now, the veterans I've met in my travels have been uplifting. Many struggle with conditions inevitable with old age. Others live with uncertain consequences from exposures to environmental threats and chemicals. Still others have recently returned from Afghanistan and Iraq, bearing fresh wounds of war, both visible and invisible. Out of my encounters with veterans, 3 concerns keep coming through. They talk about access, they talk to me about the backlog, and they talk to me about homeless veterans. So let me touch on each of those this morning for a few minutes. Access. Of the 23.4 million veterans in this country, roughly 8 million are enrolled in the VA. About a third. 5.5 million have used our medical services at least once. 3.5 million see us regularly, in many cases weekly. My question, why have 15 million veterans never enrolled with us? I don't know the answer to that, but I've asked the question and we're going to go find out. Whatever the reason, VA has the responsibility and will continue reaching out to them to explain our benefits, our services, and the quality of our healthcare system. A major initiative which will expand access is the President's decision to welcome back some 500 1,000 Priority Group 8 veterans who lost entitlements in 2003.